Hey, what's up, everyone? I hope you're having an amazing day. So, on today's video, I'm quite excited actually, because it's the day where I'm sharing something that I never thought I would be sharing on YouTube. And that is my whole Zapier workflow that I use. And that took me hours and hours to actually build. I use within my agency for the last 12 months or so. And that helps me automate like 90% of the onboarding process every time we have a new client. And now, since we have our program, we actually help our clients, our agency clients, implement this in their own agency as well. I mean, I do think that this is quite valuable, at least it is for me. Everything from A to Z, how we build it, how we actually, the logic behind it, and how you can integrate it with some alternative tools in case you don't use the same ones as we use. And by the way, for those who don't know me, my name is Dennis Rhomays. I'm the owner of AlphaTrain.io. We are multiple six figures growth and consulting agency. And pretty much what we do is helping our clients implement client acquisition infrastructure so they can get clients easier, quicker, and make more money along the way. And if you find videos like these useful, well, consider subscribing or leaving a like. That does help a lot the channel and also keeps me motivated to continue to share everything that I know. Well, thank you so much. And without further ado, let's jump into my Mac. Okay, here we go. So this is our whole Zapier workflow that we use every time we onboard a new client. And it's important to know a couple of things. And before I actually dive into the logic behind it, I will share some important tips and some information about the tools that we are using and why we are using them in the first place. So when it comes to the trigger, everything is based on an action that we do on our CRM. And for our CRM, we use Go High Level. If you don't know who Go High Level, you definitely should, especially if you serve service-based businesses. And so I have an affiliate link underneath this video. Feel free to click on it and check it out. Then we have a couple of conditionals who are not familiar with Discord, and we use Discord for team communication instead of Slack. We use Slack all the way until last week. I've decided to move everything to Discord because it's a little bit more organized, in my opinion. I don't like really how the threads work on Slack. And we have, of course, Google Sheets. Then we have Google Drive that we use to store and organize all the files related to the client. And then we have ClickUp and even a couple more things. So let's start by the top. The first thing that we have an onboarding pipeline. And by the way, if you want me to show on a future video how we actually structure our own CRM, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll make sure that I make a video around it. But well, what we have is we have a stage that is called invoice sent. Once we send the invoice to the client, we actually move it to that stage. Once the client actually pays the invoice, we have an automation that connects Stripe with PandaDoc, because we use PandaDoc for everything that is contract related. That instantly moves the client from the stage onboarding invoice sent to onboarding started. And this is when everything starts working by itself. So the first thing that we want to do is, of course, map out the trigger. It's pretty straightforward, and we can even edit it so that you have a better vision of what it looks like. So if you don't have a Zapier account, all you have to do is go to zapier.com. Then you can pretty much create a free account. I think you have on your free account 100 automations or tasks, or zaps. I'm not sure how they call them, but I think it's tasks. And if you want more than that, which you probably will need, you have a couple of different plans depending on your currency. Right now we are on the $49 plan per month, so it's not that expensive, especially for the type of tasks that they help us automate, because we don't use this only for onboarding purposes. We actually use this client service delivery as well. But I reckon that if you start off with the free, then once you burn all your free 100 tasks, then you can move to starter and you start going from there. You have a couple of different tiers. But well, going back to the automation flow. So here we go. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we will connect Go High Level. It's called Lead Connector on Zapier. You will choose your account. You will select the type of event. In this case, is pipeline stage changed. Then click Continue. Then he will ask you which is the account that you want to connect. We have a couple of ones from clients and whatnot. So you will select yours. Then you click Continue. You select the pipeline, pretty straightforward. Then move to the stage. So what you're saying is, every time that a new opportunity is moved or the stage changed to onboarding started, in this case, so we have different stages that we have on our pipeline. We have booking confirmed, no show canceled, not qualified, not interested, not ready yet, then follow-up scheduled, invoice sent, and onboarding started. So once the invoice is paid, it will move automatically to onboarding started. And then once it's moved to onboarding start, this whole automation kicks in, right? So pretty simple. Now, I don't want to reveal client information. So then the next thing we want to do is, this is just something that we use or that I implemented to as a security measure. Because otherwise, so what we use is we use the client's company name to actually name most of the folders or use them in different ways. So I want to make sure that I have not forget about adding the company name in the client's opportunity details. Otherwise, everything would look strange and it would take me even more time to actually try to fix it than it would to do it all myself. So for that reason, for some reason it doesn't exist, it will stop here and nothing will happen. So I will receive a notification and I can go back, make sure that the company name is in the right placeholder, and then we can move forward and try it again. Well, then we hit continue. And the first thing I want to do is actually let our team know that we have a new client. It's super important to have the team motivated. This is one of the things that I like to do. So we have just a quick message saying, hey, new agency customer closed, name, email, company, booked by. That's pretty much it. Then we have the bot name. I just call it offertrend.io. Bot icon, we just have our logo here. We test and that's cool. Then the first thing that we'll do is use for the sales process. We actually use a sales tracking sheet outside the CRM. And the reason being is like for members of our community or members of our program, they'll know what sheet I'm talking about. Something that really helps you out when it comes to making sure that you are hitting your right numbers and your conversion rate is on point, especially if you have more than one sales rep or if you have a lot of sales calls, which you actually should. Well, so the first thing that we have here is lookup. So we connect our drive folder. Then we ask him to, well, this is the worksheet. This is this spreadsheet. Look up the column prospect email. Then look up this email. Okay. Then if he finds it, that should be so. Should this step be considered a success when nothing is found? No. We want to make sure that it is there. Otherwise, something. Yeah. You make sure to have this selected to no and click continue. And then you will test it. And then we have another one, which we use to go again. Since he looked up the spreadsheet and he found the row that we are looking for. Now I want him to change a couple, like some information. So he found it's on row 8 in this case, and we want to change closed one to true. So it's a check mark, and this helps us measure our conversion rate. Then we start with the whole Google Drive folder. So this is where I spent a lot of time, especially because of the sharing permission settings. And because you do need to make sure that they are properly set up. Okay, so the first thing is we create a client main folder. What that is, inside of our Google Drive, we have something that is called active clients, and we have one folder for each client, right? So then we use the company name. So this is blurred out, but it's because I don't want to reveal customer information, but you'll see that it's the company or business name, right? So then we test it and we go from there. Then once we have the main folder, we want to create 5 additional folders. One is onboarding docs. Onboarding docs is everything like once he goes through the onboarding funnel, everything that is related to that and the type of information that you need him to provide your client. Make sure that everything is added here. So, and by the way, these 5 folders are team-faced and not client-faced. I will explain more detail what that means. So we create a folder that's called onboarding docs. Then we do the same for campaign management and tracking, ad creatives, contracts and agreements, and headquarters. So for the headquarters, this is the folder that we will use to give the client access so that he can actually add in everything that is brand creatives, customer like databases on his end. But these first 5 are team oriented. Okay. Then we need to start changing the file sharing preferences. So for this one, as you can see, what we'll do is actually on the action, we can find the folder based on the custom data that this Zapier gave us. And then we want to share the preference to anyone on the internet who has the link can edit. So what we do is we make it publicly available, even though it's not the best practice, but it does work well enough. And we make sure that we let our client know that be careful with this link, don't share it with anyone. Okay. Then within that folder, within headquarters, we'll create 3 additional folders. One for branding, and we make this also update sharing preferences. Then we have creative assets, everything that is related to creatives that he might have, like videos, images, photos, anything that we can use so that our design team can pick it up and see what type of ads we can do with those, with creatives that the client has. If there's nothing special in it, well, our creative team needs to come up with the concepts needs to come up with the whole concepts. Well, then we have, last but not least, we have database lists. So this is when because we do run some reactivation database lists for our clients, and we actually use that to feed the algorithm, especially for Facebook ads or TikTok. No, TikTok, I don't think so. But it's at least for Facebook ads, we are able to upload the customer list and create some lookalike audiences and all that stuff. Well, if you want to know more about Facebook ads or TikTok ads or anything of that sort, let me know and I can make a video about it. Well, then we also update the sharing preferences. These are major steps, the changing the sharing preferences, because it does become messy once you have more than 15, 20 clients. So right now we have around 25 inside of our agency. But so it is important to have everything standardized, and we don't have different naming schemes or different names across different clients. We want to make everything standard so that every time we have a new person to join the team, it's quite easy to understand how everything works. Then we use ClickUp. So by the way, this also works. Just before I move into ClickUp, if you don't use Google Drive and you use something alternative, an alternative like Dropbox or something like that, don't worry, you can do exactly the same thing. Just apply the same principle. And instead of selecting Google Drive, you can use this for Dropbox or any other storage software. Okay. And same goes for Google Sheet. For example, if you use Airtable or something like that, you can use that. Or here, when I use Discord, you can use Slack or you can use Facebook. I don't know. You can use any other messaging platform that is connected to Zapier. But now, when it comes to ClickUp, we do use ClickUp as our project management tool. I know that there are a lot of different ones like Trello, Monday.com, you have Asana, a lot of them. They all are great tools. We just found that ClickUp works the best for us. It's quite easy and straightforward. That's why we stick to it. So the first thing that we will do is create a list, it's like a folder, or it's like a list. You have folders, and then you have lists, and then you have tasks. So what we do is we use a space for a specific type of service. In this case, let's say the whole service delivery when it comes to clients that we run ads for. Then we have one list for each and every client. And what we do actually is we have a template. So we have a template that we call Nest Partners, and that we can use so that every time we create a new list, everything is set up. Like the columns, the custom values, everything is in place. We only need to click. We don't even need to click anything. Everything is done. So because what happens is in that template, we have the whole task list for the next steps, like making sure that the client has added the creatives, making sure that Facebook ads or Facebook Business Manager and TikTok Business Manager are connected, or the Google Ads Manager. So all that stuff, we have a step-by-step onboarding process or checklist, if you want, on ClickUp, that after everything is created on this end, we have the template on the other end. On the other hand, so it's just going through the steps. We don't need to add or do anything at all. So, and by the way, we give the reason why I have this filter here is because we not only give it the business, we don't only use the business name to name the main Google Drive folder, but we actually use it as well to name our ClickUp list. Then we have a thing here, which is we have clients that in different countries, and not all of our clients, because even though we are based in Portugal, most of our clients are US or Canada based, and that means that we serve 2 clients that speak 2 different languages. So we need to make sure that our national clients don't feel left out. So we want to make it send, for example, the welcome message and some other bells and whistles in Portuguese instead of English. And same goes for our clients in English. So the first thing that we'll do is we have a path. A path is like a conditional, and if / else, if you are familiar with high-level automation flows, we say if name is English, so we have the rules here, custom field on high level, which is called preferred language, and we have English or Portuguese. And if it's English, well, it will fire this way. And we have send an email to the client. What we have is pretty straightforward, and you can copy this if you want. It shoots right from my own email, so this should be blurred out. So this comes from my email. We have action required, after10.io, welcome and onboarding. So if you are not familiar with HTML, it's pretty straightforward. What we are using here is just to make to add some breaks and make some of text stand out. So we have step 1. Please click here to the entire team is grateful and excited to have you on this journey. So here's the next step. Here's the next and last important steps to go through so that you are officially onboarded. Step 1, fill out the onboarding form. So we send them a link. So we have all the access and information we need to get started with the ads strategy and content planning, right? Because we do that. So what we do is actually, once the client fills out the whole onboarding form, our team takes that information, we start building the strategy plan so that we can present it on our kickoff call. Then join our Slack workspace. This is when we were still using Slack. Now it would be different. But anyway, we do still have a couple of clients in Slack. And then, so he just needs to click on this link and he will be able to join. Then step 3, upload your file to our Google Drive. So we use the shareable link that we've got from the step, from the previous steps. And we add it here. So it's the headquarters link. We say click here to upload all your creatives, branding files, and email databases to this dedicated Google Drive. All data is protected and only you and your team can access this folder. So what we do what we do is once we have this set, we change the permissions. Now I remember. So I was actually not quite sure why we're sharing this publicly, but actually what we do is we change based on, after we onboard the client, we ask him who else should have access to it, so that once the onboarding process is done, we change the permissions so that only a couple of emails can access it. And then if you get stuck on any of the above, don't hesitate to send us an email, although we will happily walk you through everything in our kickoff meeting. So that means is like, if he for some reason is not able to connect his Google or Facebook Ads Manager to our own, well, nothing to worry about. We go through that in our kickoff call and we get everything sorted out. That's pretty much it. Then last but not least, we just send a message to the whole team again saying client onboard flow completed. Actually, it went well. And customer email, Google Drive folder, ClickUp list created, onboarding email sent, and all that good stuff. And then, well, on the other side for the Portuguese clients, it's the same thing, but just in Portuguese. So I think that's pretty much it. And I know that it's been a couple minutes in already, but the whole Zapier workflow, the onboarding workflow, looks like this. It's simple once you look at it like this, but believe me, it took some time to assemble the whole automation, and not only assemble it, but actually making sure that it works flawlessly. Now, there are a couple of variables that are quite important. Is to make sure that on your CRM software that you are using, you have all the different or the necessary variables that you need to use when it comes to conditioning the way on how the automate should actually behave. Making sure that you also have a template on your project management tool, because we could like edit tasks manually, but we don't think that that's necessary, because we always have the same steps for every single new client for the agency, and also for the program is the same thing. But anyways, and aside from that, is like, this is why do I think this is important, or why am I sharing this with you? The reason why I'm sharing this today is because productizing your service delivery is sometimes even more important than actually acquiring clients in volume. And let me tell you why. Because if you have like a very solid backend system, you will make clients stay for longer, which means you make more money on them, money that you don't need to spend acquiring them. So focus on getting a few clients. Once you have a few clients, make sure that you hone in on your backend system, make everything solid as a rock, and then go back to get more clients nonstop. But having a solid backend system is crucial, especially if you are looking to build a business that will be profitable in years to come. So I hope you found this useful. And by the way, if you have any questions whatsoever about what I just went through, whether if it's about CRM, go higher level, Facebook ads, whatever it is, well, let me know. Comment down below, and I'll make sure to record a video about that topic. And also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you love it, consider subscribing. And also, we have a Facebook group community for like-minded entrepreneurs. Feel free to join. It's the first link in the description. And last but not least, if you are in a position where you feel like mentorship or program could help you out, well, I'm more than happy to walk you through how we work, how we do things. We have a link, again, in the description section. And, well, see you then. Thanks so much for your time, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.